Everything has come to life, bitter place, and a broken dream. Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with a VeVe OMI Definity DEVVE daCat FIAS update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. For not, welcome back. I love y'all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Commenting, liking, subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon, smashing that super thanks button down below. Super chats as well. Yes, you are second. We've got a bit to go over here. Formulas for undervalued VeVe comics. Yes, I did do that. I did a very autistic thing the last few days, and I went super deep on all of the things that we could do in order to try to find undervalued things. Now, I did talk about this a little bit yesterday and the day before, just talking about the Strange Tales 110. When I first started buying, I was like, and this comes off the heels of me kind of breaking up with the girl last month and having a little extra money. You know, now I'm not flying her to New York, Florida, you know, like wherever. And now it's okay, like a little extra money. Let's see what we're what's the raspberry turd? Third. Okay, yes. Who's first? So I just decided, like, you know, I got a little extra funds. Let me just go shopping. It's weird. The one thing I shop for is not like new clothes. It's not like, you know, like go to a barber, get a shave. No, it's the VeVe collectibles. And I look, and if you remember, the lowest thing or the lowest price that you can get anything on for VeVe was 1 gem or $1. Cool. But that's not the case on Stacker. In fact, Stacker, you can get things like 50 X amount, like how much percent off? It's insane. Now, obviously, people still sell things on VeVe at a premium because you can't cash out those gems. So it's like, okay, we're gonna charge $1,700 for a partner statue instead of like the $1,100 that it is over on Stacker. So it's like, okay, that makes sense because you want to be able to use that to buy more drops, to do whatever. I get that. But on Stacker now, again, you can get things for under $1, and it's like, well, Chavez, what are the things that you can get for under $1? They're probably stupid cheap, right? Like they're probably, yeah, a lot of the things that you can get, and let's go to comics here. You can get for under $1 that are generally pretty bad. If you go to Sleep in Comics, and he's got like a tier list here of like S tier comics, A, B, C, all the way to D, and the D ones are just not good. Like I've hated Alpha Flight forever. Glad to see that that's a D tier. But here's some things that Amazing Spider-Man number 21. D tier comics, only 5,000 issues. Peter, but I got some of these for like 60 cents. And I was like, even though, yeah, are these ever going to be $10 a comic? No. Like the comments, like, no, they never would. But can they get to like $2 or $3? Yeah, probably. So at first I was just like, let me get like some first appearances here. So I got like first appearance. Some was like Werewolf by Night. There's Night Nurse, you know, Christine Palmer's first appearance. And I was like, okay, like anything that's a first appearance, like that's for under $1, like cool. But then I was like, you know, as long as I'm going to be buying some of these comics for under $1, let me see how far I can get this. Obviously, the C and D tier comics, like definitely the D tier, you get a lot of those for under $1, right? And if you want to stack MCP points, I don't know, you know, if you want, that's fine. But then I was like, I wonder if there's any B tier. Like, no, there can't possibly be B tier comics that are under $1, right? Wrong. Because there's some B tier comics, like all new Marvel Now .1. Come on, there's 30,000 editions, which means 21,000, you know, commons. That's a lot. And I love Kamala Khan. I love the actress that plays Ms. Marvel. The show is great. The movie in the Marvels, I love that character. I love that actress. And yeah, she's kind of cool. Like, you know, she's all right. And my thinking here with that was, so again, I was able to get her for like 80 cents. Like, and be advised, just because this is the first B tier comic, like on the list, doesn't mean that it is the best B tier comic. It just happens to go in ABC order. There's All New Marvel Now, there's Amazing Spider-Man, there's another Amazing Spider-Man, and there's a bunch of Amazing Spider-Man. There's so many freaking Amazing Spider-Mans. There's Avengers, first appearance of Vision. So there's a bunch of B-tier comics. And I was like, okay, let me take a look at the other ones. And then it's like anything under $1 for a B-tier comic, like, cool. So there's actually still, I think, some visions for for that. But what I really focus on, one of the best ones happened to be first appearance. It happened to be first appearance Hawkeye. So I've told people before I've stacked Fantastic Four number 48 and Silver Surfer number 3. Now, because Fantastic Four number 48, first appearance Silver Surfer, those I think you can get. Oh, and 49 as well. Like there's only 6,000 of those. So depending on how many there are, that could affect the price a little bit as well. But first appearance Hawkeye for 84 cents, I was like, okay, all day. So I was just buying everything, right? And then I go and I think, well, I know you're not going to get any A-tier comics for under $1, right? Right. There's no A-tier comics for under $1. Well, at least not the common. There was a couple of Strange Tales 110, that's first appearance of Doctor Strange. That is an A-tier comic. But I was just buying commons. The uncommons, and even in general, nobody really likes the cover of Strange Tales 110, at least not the common version. So the uncommon, I think I did get some under $1. I think I got like 70 something cents. But again, they're uncommon, right? Like that's like the least coveted cover that you can get for any comic. So, but then I saw a bunch for like $1.50, $1.74. I even told, it was a buddy of mine, I was like, hey, this dude just listed like 30 of these. I already bought like 20. Like, do you want to like split these? And I was like, first appearance Doctor Strange, and he's like, yeah, sure. So we do that. And then that happens, and then the dude doesn't stop. This was like the number 2 holder of Strange Tales 110, the commons, and he just kept on listing. And I was just like, heck it. Like I'm just gonna buy this dude out. And I did. I bought him out. So now I have 1% of the commons. And then I was like, the commons of that, there's 30,000 editions of that book in general. So there's getting 1% was cool. But there's 21,000 editions of that. And that's like, okay, that's a lot. And you know what? If somebody like nobody has 1,000, right? I'm the number 2 holder now. The only other person is like this guy Warpstone. Hold on, let me give y'all Strange Tales 110 common. It's this guy named Wiz Polo, like 324. Like I'm not gonna catch that. Now, if there happens to be 30 different dudes for like whatever, and they all come out and say like, yeah, I'm gonna sell my stash of 10, 20, 30, whatever, and I get like 1,000 of them for $2 each. Yeah, I'll do that. Like I will become the largest holder. But I already bought the stuff that was on the market, plus that guy long-term holder, plus some others. So now, for some reason, the common's like $59. So don't buy that. Like that's insane. In fact, what I'm actually gonna do, I'll just list one. For I don't know. I'll list one for 69,000 OMI, which is like $9. Just so people know that if they go there, like don't buy the one that's $59. Buy one for $9. And I'm not saying it's worth it right now. If just somebody goes and they want it, that's the cheapest option. Cool. But anyway, long story short, so if you are probably going to get some people that, yeah, the price can come back down, and you might be able to get it, for like someone could undercut me right now, and that's fine. Someone can come in and be like, you know what, I have a couple of these. I don't need to wait until somebody buys for $9. I'll sell them for $7, $6, like whatever. Cool. Then I started looking at like, okay, Sleepin is not the only comic professional out there. And Hey, what's up, Passion? I can't get myself to spend OMI, so I use gems. Well, you just replace the OMI. Like, that's what I do. Like, I just, okay, I use the OMI and then I replace the OMI. So it's pretty, like, I want to just buy, I guess just using gems, or just using fiat. But I use OMI, obviously, but I use the fiat to replace the OMI. Anyway, Sleepin's not the only comic guy out there. And I was like, you know what? There's this thing called CDCs in the military, where after basic training, where you spend nothing but 8.5 weeks of learning, some of it's useful, most of it's not. And then tech school, you have X amount of months of that, depending on what your job is. And it's like, okay, yeah, that you are learning a decent amount of stuff there. A lot of the stuff you just really need on the job training. You just need to like do the job, right? So you go to basic training, you go to tech school, and then you get to your first duty station. All right, I'm just gonna work out. I'm gonna like get laid. I'm gonna like do all that, right? Wrong. You have more training to do. You do like a year's worth of training before you start your freaking job. Like, why do you like? Military spends what, $150,000 training? Like training each individual person, from the time that they get recruited to the testing to the training to the food and the clothing. And it's insane how much the US government spends per person before they even get to their jobs. You a corpsman, add another 100K to that. Like, it's insane, right? Anyway, once you get to your job and you have this more schooling, it's called CDCs. You have to study. It's just a bunch of regulations. In the basic, you learn how to be in the military. You just learn how to get screamed at. In tech school, you kind of learn some stuff about your job. When you're actually at your job, you just learn a lot of regulations, and it sucks. And I'm not saying that there's definitely uses for them. Although when you're deployed, a lot of those regulations go out the window. Anyway, it's like there's two general books that you use to study. And what you're supposed to do is like, okay, if something sounds important, highlight it. And in the other book, same thing. And then whichever ones overlap, those are generally the things that you should study. The stuff that overlaps that you find in both books. Like, okay, cool, that makes sense. So what I'm doing now is I took a look at Sleepin's comic tier list, the F, A, B, etc. And then I combine that or overlap that with Comics and Crypto's top 50 comics. And then I was like, okay, let's see which ones are good to actually. I think I might have it here. Did I screenshot it? Yeah. So they have the top 50 stuff. And I'm only really worried about like the top 20, or top maybe 30, because the S and the A tier, because I already got, the D and the C you kind of want to like ignore. I already got a lot of the B's for under $1. So that one's done. It's like, okay, so where's the rest of this value coming from? So I went through all the A's, and all of the A's, and again, on Sleepin's chart there that he has, the heck is it? For the A tier, like, because he goes in ABC order, you don't know what's better. Like, you don't, like, any of these could be number one. Thankfully, there's not a ton of A's. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 of them. So you have a decent, like, not 8 or 9% chance of guessing which one. Like, Fantastic Four number 1 is probably going to be above Fantastic Four number 5. Like, and again, there's a lot of these have 10,000 editions. Amazing Spider-Man number 129, Amazing Spider-Man number 300, Fantastic Four number 52, that's first appearance of T'Challa. More 10,000 editions in the S tier comics. But for the A, you have a bit of a mix. 10,000, 30,000. Fantastic Four number 1 is 60,000, which is nuts. So then it's like, okay, I look at all of them, and the cheapest one happened to be Strange Tales 110. Everyone else was like $4 and $5. Some are $6 or $8. Like, and then it's like, okay, let's so let's get the cheapest one, which is Strange Tales. So I got all of those, and then I'm thinking, okay, Now, if I want to see, not necessarily to buy out, like I'm not going to get a 1%. I mean, I could, but I don't want to. Like a 1% of the supply of any of the S tier. That's probably going to be pretty expensive. But then I was like, well, there's not just commons. So I look at the S tier and the A tier and say, like, where is Strange Tales 110 actually, looked at? And surprisingly, it's at number, what, 13? Yeah, number 13. So a bunch of the S tier, Amazing Fantasy 15, Marvel Comics number 1, X-Men number 1, Incredible Hulk number 1, Tales of Suspense 39, that's Iron Man, Journey into Mystery 83, that's Thor, Incredible Hulk 181, that's Wolverine, Avengers 1, first appearance of all the Avengers together. So that's all in like S tier. And in the A tier, it's like, okay, Fantastic Four number 1. Then you have Amazing Spider-Man number 1, Daredevil number 1, and Fantastic Four number 5. And then it's Strange Tales. And then so Journey into Mystery 85, which Comics Crypto has as 14, that's actually a B tier comic according to Sleepin'. Fantastic Four number 52. Okay, so that's an A tier comic that Comics and Crypto is ranking below Strange Tales. So I start looking at the secret rare. I was like, okay, even though that comic is seen as below Strange Tales 110, Strange Tales 110 is actually cheaper. And this holds true for, I don't know why they have giant size X-Men number 1 down at the 16. Anyway, Fantastic Four number 48. So there's a bunch of these. Where's Marvel Spotlight number 5, which is an A tier comic. Tomb of Dracula, I don't even know if I saw. Oh yeah, that's number 22. So Strange Tales 110 is actually one of the top ones for the A tier. It's like, okay, that's a really good sign. So I got, a couple rares. I don't think I have any ultra rare. I got one secret rare for right now. I talked to Mr. Squeebs. We decided that we would get, what's up, Bill Gardner? Give me this. Give me those dabs. Yeah. We decided that we would get, what's up? I'm going to say hi to everyone first. What's up, Fatty? Yeah. He's bullish on comics for sure. Hell yeah. Dr. Fidgel says, good evening, Dr. Fidgel. So I decided to take a look at the S tier stuff. And like, okay, even though I'm not going to get 1% or whatever, there's still probably some undervalued things. Like, what did we do with Pokemon cards? We looked at all the sales data. And we looked at, okay, a PSA 10, you heard me talk about this before. PSA 10 is going for anywhere from 5 to 8 times what the 9 is going for. If the PSA 10 is going for 20 times that, the 9 is probably really undervalued and it's got to catch up. Where if the PSA 10 is only like twice as much as a PSA 9, either the 9 is overvalued or the 10 is undervalued and that has room to grow. So I did something very similar here. And I looked at all of the S tier ones and I wrote down in like basically a chart. Okay, let's do all the ones with 10,000 mints first. Hulk number 1, X-Men number 1, AF-15. AF-15 should be its own thing because it's like so coveted, right? Tales of Suspense, Hulk 181, Journey into Mystery 83, Avengers number 1, like all of these S tier comics, 10,000 mints. So like, okay, let's see where it goes. And it's not, the numbers don't really matter. It's the multiple compared to its inferior copies. So Hulk number 1, secret rare is 1,300. The ultra rare is 83, and this was as of a few hours ago, so the numbers might be a little off. Now, the secret rare has a difference of a 15.5x multiple. Like okay, then the ultra rare, it's like, okay, that's interesting. That seems like a lot. Let's see if that holds up. X-Men number 1, that's 10,000 mints. Secret rare 633. Ultra rare $60. It's like, okay, well, that's an 11x difference. So now we have a little bit, okay, is there anything that's going to be above or below that? AF-15. I was like, okay, here's one where the secret rare is so crazy. Secret rare is 4K. Okay. Ultra rare is 455. So that's a 9x difference. So that's the lowest difference that we've seen. And it's like, okay, well, that could signal that secret rare has a bit of room to grow. Or they're both, like we'll see. And we'll get to the commons and the rares. I didn't do anything with the uncommons. Okay, Tales of Suspense 39. 10K mints. So secret rare is 1235, ultra rare was 88. So that's a 14x difference. So we've had 2 now, that's 14 to 15.5x difference. And we have 2 that's between 9 and 11. Okay, what about Incredible Hulk 181? 429 for the secret rare. Ultra rare's 42. So they all, like, I think that was the cheapest ultra rare. That was 42. I was like, it's a 10K or it's a 10x difference. And the ultra is 42. So I'm thinking like, okay, that is by far the cheapest secret rare we've seen. The next cheapest was X-Men #1 at 663. But even still, again, the numbers really don't matter. It's the multiple that I was looking at. That's still about a 10x difference. So the difference between the secret rare and the ultra rare wasn't that big. It wasn't like if it was a 5x difference, okay, something's off. It was like a 30x difference, okay, something's off. But it wasn't. It fell between kind of those parameters. Then you had Journey into Mystery. Okay, $11.94 for the secret rare, $87 for the ultra rare, 13.7x difference. So we're still falling in between those parameters. So I'm not seeing anything crazy yet. Avengers #1, one of the other cheaper ones, $4.55 for the secret rare and $65 for the ultra rare. So now I'm looking at, okay, that's a 7x difference. So now I'm thinking that either the ultra rare of Incredible Hulk 181 at $42 is undervalued, which it probably is, or the Avengers #1 secret rare is undervalued because that is the lowest difference that I've seen from the ultra rare to secret rare as far as a multiple is concerned. That's only 7x. The next lowest one was AF15 with a 9x difference. It's like, okay, like now we're getting somewhere. So that was Avengers, and then the last one was Giant Size X-Men, which was a little bit harder to gauge because that only had 7,500 mints. Secret rare was 929. The ultra rare was 156. And that's a 6x difference, but that ultra rare is like so much that I was like, I don't know if that, again, it's a different mint size. So I was looking at it, I was like, Then it was like, okay, now we have that for the secret rare and ultra rare. These are hundreds or thousands of dollars. So it was like, okay, let's see the difference between the commons and the rares. Because again, nobody really cares about the uncommons, even though it's an S tier comic. People are going to buy it anyway, right? So let's take a look at Hulk #1. Okay, the common was 22 and the rare is 52. That seems like a lot. And the rare 52 I think is high, but the common at 22 is like, okay, 2.5, 2.5x difference. The X-Men #1, the common is 21, the rare is 21. Okay, that seems, whereas the rare on the Hulk #1 was 2.5 times $52. The rare on this one's 21. Let's see, that's an interesting data point. Let's see where that takes us. Because that's the same as the common. AF15, common is 174, rare is 259. It's like, okay, this is in the middle. It's 1.5x difference. Like, okay, another data point. Let's see if this matches here. Tales of Suspense 39. The common was 18 and the rare was 21. And that's similar to X-Men #1 in the fact that they're both around 21. They had 21 for the common and the rare. Tales of Suspense was 18 and 21. So they're around the same thing. But then I was like, wait a minute. The X-Men #1 is $663 and the common's 21. Tales of Suspense 39 is $1,235 and the common's 18. So that is a very big difference in multiple between the common and the secret rare. Not done. Let's see if that holds up a little bit. Incredible Hulk #181. The common is $11. The rare is 21. And it's like, okay, that is there's like a 40 like a 40x difference between the secret rare and the common. And the common and the rare is like double. So it's like, okay, that it really seemed to me that the Tales of Suspense 39, that $18 was just had so much room to grow because the multiple was so different on the secret rare to the common than the X-Men #1. So like, okay, Incredible Hulk 181, that just kind of confirmed it. Then you have Journey into Mystery. The common was $12 and the secret rare is $11.94. So that's like 100x, right? But then it's like, okay, if we do the math on the, yeah, so that was a big one. That was probably the biggest difference. That's literally like 100x difference multiple between the secret rare and the common. So that journey into mystery at that time, I don't know what it is right now. Again, this is a few hours ago. That's the one that I probably would have got. It's like, well, it's $12, but the Incredible Hulk number 181 was $11. Why is one so much more undervalued? Because the Incredible Hulk Secret Rare was only $429, whereas the Journey into Mystery 83, first appearance with Thor, was $11.94. So that's a big difference. Okay, let's see what Avengers number 1 is. $455 for the Secret Rare, 11 for the common. So it's like, okay, that's a big difference that I saw, reinforcing that the Journey into Mystery common was severely undervalued. Honestly, if it's still there, I'm going to buy it right now. I don't know how many there were. Journey into Mystery number 83. Shit, I hit the number 85. I did not like Loki. All right, 83. If that's still there, which it is, for $13. So because that's like an insane multiple difference, I'm gonna get them. And because this is 10,000 editions instead of 30,000, you don't have 21,000 editions on the. You don't have 21,000 editions on the common. It's like 6,000, I think. I think it's 6,000. I'm gonna check as soon as I just bought another one because again, it's $13, which I think is, again, that multiple of difference is insane. Yeah, there's 5,999 of these, and the listings now it's at 1452. It's still a really big difference, but so again, that's just the kind of the stuff that I found, and that's why I decided to go in and do that, just to see what the multiples are, and if there's anything that I could see that was undervalued. And again, I just showed you. I just spent a little bit. Let's see what else we got. Digital, thank good evening, fam. Good evening. These ones says got like 30 Incredible Hulk 181 at the moment. Looking to add more. All right, Incredible Hulk 181. Let's see what we got here. 429 for the Secret Rare. So I assume you have 30 of the common. Unless you have 30. Well, let's see. Incredible Hulk number 181. Are you in the top? Oh wow, there's people that. Well, Mr. Hulk 181 is 200 of these freaking things. Jesus, man. To get 1%, you need like 60. So you have 0.5%. It's $13 right now. Yeah. I mean, so the difference. Where's this? Tales of Suspense 39. So that was 1235 and 18. 68x multiple, but then the Journey into Mystery 83, that was just such a big multiple. Let me see what the Secret Rare is going for now, because that Secret Rare could drop at any moment, right? It's 1200, then it goes 1213, then 1320. So that's pretty stable. Like that's not something I think is going to go up a crazy amount anytime soon. It could go down though. Could go down. Oh yeah, I just picked a few of those comments. So let me get back to Journey into Mystery 83 comments. So that was the biggest, the biggest difference that I saw. I was like, okay, let me grab some. And now President Trump orders government. No freaking way. Trump orders government to release classified files on aliens, UFOs, extraterrestrial life, and unidentified aerial phenomena. I need smart water for this. I kind of gave up drinking, so water, but okay, you had Obama the other day in an interview basically tell classified information, be like, yeah, aliens are real. And then he's like, well, I haven't seen them, but they're not in Area 51. It's like, but they're real. And then Trump was asked about that literally like either today or last night, and it is like, oh yeah, somebody asked Trump like, Obama mentioned that aliens were real, and Trump says, he gave away classified info, he shouldn't have done that. And then he's like, so wait, are you confirming that aliens are real? And Trump's like, I don't know if they're real or not, but I know that Obama gave away classified info, you shouldn't do that. And now He's ordering the government to release classified files on aliens, UFOs, extra. Oh my God. Remember what I had said. Okay, hold on. Hold the F on. Because I had talked about this with a buddy of mine, or the groups that we're in. Randy. We'll let him know. Financing, Douglas. Okay. Douglas McGregor say, okay, this is back in January. This is like a month ago. Today's the 19th. Oh, wow. We are already 6 weeks, 7 weeks into 2026. We are like 1/7, 1/8 of the year is done. Jesus. Okay. Bank of England was told to prepare for a market crash if the United States announces alien life. Ella McCaw, who served as senior analyst financial security at the UK central bank, sounded the alarm. She's now written to Andrew Bailey, the bank's governor, urging him to organize contingencies for the possibility that the White House may confirm we are not alone in the universe. Now, what did I just get through saying? Trump orders government. Jesus. Oh my God. Hold on. Hold the F on. Reply, paste. It's happening. What does that do? You know, Prince Andrew got arrested today. This whole Epstein file coming out, like Prince Andrew straight up got arrested. Like royalty is going down. Is he releasing this? Or is he releasing these files to distract everyone from the Epstein file? I don't know. But I'm getting that secret rare. Which secret rare? Which secret rare? Incredible Hulk 181. Let's see what that's at. Incredible Hulk number 181. That is a sexy looking secret rare. My God, he looks so good. Yeah, 435. And then it goes 460. So yeah, okay. Digital Toys of Tommy 2024 is I live in a town considered one of the UFO capitals of the world. Many weird encounters in my area. We have had a museum about it. Can you DM me? I'm very curious about that. That is insane. That is insane. Okay, I'm sorry. Hold on. I just got a notification that my friendos are retweeting this. Thank you all, everybody. Meow. Cool. Don't you want me like I want you, baby? Don't you need me like I need you now? Sleep tomorrow, but tonight go crazy. Sounds like a distraction. All you gotta do is just meet me at the patu. Yeah, we're about to go to war with Iran, and we just aliens. Oh my gosh, bruh. Let me text the group chat here. I'm on live and bruh. I gotta tell my friends. Hold on, I have to send them this link because it's happening. Okay, all right. So that is why I got and Strange Tales 110. I had the secret rare is kind of, I mean, it's great, but it's just like it's not as undervalued as the common was at that time. And then after looking at, so again, just trying to find value here, that's where I found the value. I think either Incredible Hulk number 181 secret rare or Avengers number 1 secret rare. Those will probably do the most, I think, in that S tier comic. But yeah, I would say those. Anywho, let's go to some of the news here. Let's go to some of the crypto stuff. Let's see what OMI's doing. OMI's at 0001332. It is very low. It is very, very low. With all this, if they crash with the market, it could go lower. Go lower, folks. Let me check on what ETH is up to. ETH is pretty flat on the day, down 0.5% at 1954. Bitcoin up almost a point, 67K. It was actually down to 65.9, 65.5, give or take before. Hold on, I just had a couple of buys of Definity. Oh, okay. So it's a buddy of mine that was buying that Definity. He all right, is up to almost 1 million Definity. It's got like $10,000 worth. And he's getting that bread. Look up Pine Bush, New York. I've heard that. Give me one sec. Why does that sound familiar? No, not now. Oh yeah, Pine Bush, New York is renowned as a major UFO hotspot on the East Coast, with thousands of reported sightings, including triangle UFOs and metallic spheres, dating back decades. The hamlet embraces its reputation with a dedicated Pine Bush UFO and Paranormal Museum and an annual Pine Bush UFO Fair. Whoa. Oh, that's so freaking cool. I gotta go here. Where the heck is this place? Hold on. Hold the heckin' phone. All right, Main Street. Oh, this is upstate. Oh, this is way upstate. It's not way up. I mean, it's kind of upstate. It's not way upstate, but it is a drive. It is a drive. Capital of the world. Yeah. Actually, Fam Bam actually has a story from when she was younger. Very wild. Very wild. Okay. Since we're on well, let me get back to OMI here real quick, and then we'll go to Definity because that had a little bit of a up. OMI, $36 million market cap. Let's see where this is. Yeah, I'm not in Manhattan though, so I'd have to, yeah, and then draw. Yeah. All right, where's the volume here? The volume is under $1 million in volume. And 26. Okay. So we probably have like 600,000-700,000 in volume, which is not bad. I mean, it's not good, but yeah, it's a lot of the focus is going to be on the NFTs because you have when a lot of the focus is on the NFTs because like the token. Foster mentioned. Let's go over Foster's stuff here real quick before we go on to others because obviously it's Foster. He's a community manager. He was asked the other day about something, or somebody just assumed something, and he. Let's see where this is at. Foster's spoken a lot over the last few days. What do we got here? Okay, a guy named Omi Homie says, Jesus Foster Hilt, it's been way too quiet, man. He used the wrong two. You need to make some noise now. I assume he means noise. I assume English is not his first language. Your last news was 11/11/2025. Wow, this is not good. Use that new studio and bring some goddamn heat. If we wait for David Yu and Dan the Man talking about Comey, we are at Christmas 2030. Let's make Omi great again. Foster says, are you just referencing my pinned tweet as the last news? We had a major US exchange listing in December with Kraken, massive move for the whole ecosystem with CollectChain in January, and into February, which is going to open up tons of doors for OMI utility. My post about my studio said it was going to be a big year, and it's been 6 weeks. TLDR, it's going to be okay. Foster is a lot nicer than I would have been. So OMI Homie says, CollectChain is nice, but for now, only behind the scenes. Let's bring out the route for 2026. When big staking, utility, OMI drops, burning the 60 billion heavy bags, the founders are not going to burn their tokens. There's no need to. Now they could because like they can't sell that, right? But they could in the interest of excitement, and I'm never going to ask them to burn like half their bags or anything. But I was like, if you wind up doing like, a couple, maybe 10 million in burns, like if the community can hit these milestones, I think that's something that, because again, they can't liquidate that anyway. But I would never tell them to do it just to do it, but maybe do it as a celebration, as a thing, if the community can hit certain milestones. So there's one burning more OMI, one more price action, one more advertising, one better communication, one more Dan and David talking OMI, when. So Foster says, we will be announcing new utilities and features for the token on Collect Chain when we get closer to actually delivering them. Rather than announcing a bunch of things users will forget about or overlook as too much info hits them at once, we'd rather surprise and delight from what we release than shouting from the rooftops and promising the world and leaving users disappointed with the outcome. All that said, if you listen to any of the spaces with Dr. Collect about the Collect Chain, he certainly spilled the beans on a few things, and people who have been paying attention are absolutely excited, myself included. And I'm also excited to be able to share more of the direction for the year sometime in the near future. Guttmeister says, isn't announcing that there will be announcements that are super exciting, but you don't want to get people excited, kind of eliminate the point of not announcing anything specific? It's such a silly tweet, LOL, but I do think you're great. Also says, I'm not announcing anything. I was asked a question. I'm providing a response to clarify the position. One that I've repeated countless times over the past year, all while we delivered multiple OMI features and utilities. I've always been excited and bullish about the future. I've been quite vocal about this fact. If I could spill the beans without losing my job, I would, but I like my job. Appreciate that you think I'm great all the same, though. Tell me more, meow, 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 meow. Okay. So that is one of Foster's responses here. Guy named Nance is saying, you can always tease a little, keeps us on our toes. Foster says, can I though? Because calling 2026 a big year in January is already getting me in trouble, even though there are still 317 days left in the year. Preach, girl, preach. I'm talking about David about OMI. Wes posted he talked to David about OMI. Do believe him? Listen, I'm not gonna lie. David's very, 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 very busy, and I mean, I always want to talk to David, right? He's a good friend, but I don't even want to annoy David. So I feel like it would be kind of, I don't want to say irresponsible. Like, he's a celebrity, right? Everyone's gonna want. But I think we should all kind of let David be a little bit, because one, he has to deal with this reverse merger that it looks like it should happen. But he's got a lot of stuff to deal with, and I don't think we should be bombarding him by it. I purposely I try not to talk to him unless it's absolutely necessary. And because again, I know what's on his plate. So I would hope that others would kind of see and recognize that. And regardless of whatever I have going on, again, unless it's absolutely necessary, I try not to bother him, because the man's working 18 hours a day minimum. And I would hope others would just kind of respect his free time. And, you know, so I hope he didn't talk to David about what I assume is nothing, but he's a level 100. And if David wants to choose to talk to him, that's his right. Booth says Ren and Shrimpy. Swin says they should be more aggressive in burning OMI and collectibles, in my opinion, bring the hype back. Like, okay, well, where do those burns come from? Right now, they're from Stacker. Cool. They burned 5.5 billion OMI last year from the business development wallet. That's a lot. So again, I thought that was pretty good. Like where else do you want the burns to come from? Is my question. Who decides that? How much? How often? And yeah, like, do we do it lottery? Do we do it like Hunger Games style, where we pick a random Stacker account and whatever account is there, it gets burned? Like, that's insane. Let me know. Everyone I got into VeVe OMI is not interested at the moment with these prices. So to really make money with things, you have a lot easier time making money if you're super interested in the topic. If you're not, you can still make money. You just, if you happen to buy into a good investment and you hold, you know, and you just have that patience, yeah, you'll be fine. A lot of people though, they really don't know what they're investing. They might have an idea of, okay, what are they in? They're in AI, cool, give them money. They're in NFTs, cool. If they're like, you might have an idea of what a company does, but how many people that people in the VeVe and OMI fam told their friends to buy, and then how many of those friends actually knew what they were buying in, or did they just say like, all right, you know what, let me put 10K in. Hey, that 10K is worth like $400 now. Well, you were wrong, and it's like, okay, well, either they're just flat out, and again, fair point. They're upset with good reason. You know, on paper, got a lot of paper losses. And the people, that's really all they're going to see, and they don't take a look at the underlying issues and the underlying opportunities as well. It's like with some people that just have never practiced medicine before, there's like, hey, I'm sick, or my dog is sick, so I'm sick, and when I did this, I'm gonna get better. It's like, okay, well, you gave the dog Coke, of course he went from lethargic to running around because you gave him a fucking stimulant, and now it's like worse than that. It's like, oh well, yeah, if I just give him Coke now, like the amount of insanely stupid people in this world, and I'm not calling you that or anyone hear that, but I've seen a bunch of people that say like, well, I did this and then this happened, so that must mean this does this, and it's like, not always, sometimes. So a lot of what people would see is like, you know, I put, you know, money in and now my money's down, this must be a bad investment. And it's like, okay, well, in this cherry picked short amount of time, yes, that was a very wrong timing. If you have a person that, even if they are in the VeVe family, they kind of know what's going on. Like, I don't want to say there's no excuse. If I am in, like I've invested in tech before, I've been investing in tech for a while. I know a decent amount, but I'm not a developer. I'm not a coder. I would have to trust somebody else that knew coding, like, hey, take a look at this code. Is it good? It's legit. Is it spaghetti code? Is this a good foundation? Like, foundationally, is this good? And I would have to trust them, or like one of the, you know, Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever, to make an informed decision. It's like the news. It's like, okay, yeah, if you watch something from like MSNBC, you have a pretty narrow view, a very skewed view. Same thing like with Fox, same thing with CNN. It's like okay, if you look at all of these news sources and then you go on X, you go on TikTok, it's like, okay, you can make like 60%, because everything that we think we know about the world in the news, like we get like 60% of it, right? We get like, so you just have to make your best educated guess based on past experiences, past like, so even some of the people that are here now that, let's say they invest in, let's say they check on VeVe once in a while, and like the people that are commenting this, like when X, Y, and Z that Foster had, that I'd read his response to before, they kind of had one foot in, one foot out. And even if he did have one thing in, it's like, okay, well, this didn't work. This didn't work. And it's like, you're right. Gaining users on VeVe and getting tokens to go up, literally nobody has been able to figure that out on any other platform, on any other meme coin, on any other, like, okay, well then what is it? It's clear that pretty much you have to wait for that narrative to come back in. And that's the thing that Crypto Rain has been preaching for like ever. And yeah, so I understand that everyone that you got into, like you're saying, is not interested at the moment with these prices, but they should be. And all of the comics that I bought the last few days, the entire autistic freaking spreadsheet that I made this morning, going through everything, only matters if VeVe survives. And VeVe, obviously, in my opinion, because I know how much they make, I know what's going on. The odds of this reverse merger happening, I think, are quite good. And the consequence of that, a light is shown on VeVe, a light is going to be shown on OMI. It has to work, it has to hit, or else the stock's going to take like a giant dump if they don't hit within 2 quarters. You know, and it might not. Like they could come out. Let's say they do. I don't know. 10 million shares at $2. Let's say they value at 20 million, right? They're probably gonna be worth more, but let's say they value themselves at 20 million. So that would be 2 million shares at $10 a share. Cool. if the amount of users stay the same or go down, or the amount of sales stay the same and go down, and they don't justify that valuation, it's not a private company anymore. You're like gynecology. You lift up skirt, you look in there, and there are no secrets anymore. The stock will get crushed if, like, okay, when Ben came in, Ben Rose, there was like 3,000 users a day. I negotiated on half of Bill Gardner to get some of the shares to Bill. Beat him up. I straight up beat him up. I was like, hey, here's when you got, here's the amount of users, here's the amount of revenue, and look at what it is now. And I beat him up, like, because that's exactly what the stock market would do. Now, on the opposite end, because we seem to have not flatlined, we've seemed to reach that inflection point of, we've probably bottomed as far as the amount of users have gone, because there was times where we had like 400 or 500 users a day, and now on average it's like 900 to 1,000 users a day. So it seems that the trajectory we're on now is up, and if that trend continues, because people are starting to get back into NFTs again, it's like, okay, well, that's a horse of a different color. Then we're beating expectations, and then stock goes crazy. So again, regardless of what the stock does, as long as the reverse merger goes through, what would happen is that all of the things on here right now are probably the lowest that they'll ever be. And honestly, they're probably the lowest that they are right now, even before we hit or miss expectations in the next couple of quarters, because there's just going to be a light that's shown on VeVe, and there's going to be people using this. And again, because of collect chain, probably not going to matter. I mean, once you're able to put these partner statues and these Todd Batmans and these Secret Rare Spider-Mans in self-custody, does it matter if VeVe survives? Like, those assets are like some of the most important in the world for NFTs. Now, again, I have all of this OMI. I've been buying collectibles. I, for one, think that VeVe's not only just going to survive, but exceed expectations, and a lot of stuff's going to get better. And even if the company somehow, like, let's say it gets worse, but then the narrative comes that it doesn't matter. They could do the most unhinged, stupid thing, and the stock would still go up. OMI would still go up. Collectibles go up, because at that point the narrative would have hit. So I think people that are not interested with OMI or collectibles at these prices either fundamentally don't have a grasp of just finance, or they just, which is fine, like, or they have the data and they're just misinterpreting data. Either way, they're either uninterested or they don't have a good grasp on how to value companies and assets. So the people that are not interested in these moments, they can be not interested at their own peril, and they'll have missed out. And now again, I could buy, I'll be getting some money here in the next couple weeks. I'm probably going to buy more OMI. I could buy OMI here at 00013, but Trump announces aliens, and Bitcoin goes down to 35K. You know, what I buy in at, we can get cut in half, right? We can go down to quad zeros, and it's like, well, probably should have waited on that. Listen, that is all. This is all very possible. But again, I think that is all short term, in my opinion. Really long-winded there. Booth saying my Chihuahua was born on coke. Been doing backflips. It's time to go for a walk. It's there. Matthew Lamb says people who already built great wealth through employment and regular investing tend to like VeVe because they have all their other bases covered. Dude, they have this machine that is built. Let's say NFTs are like a small town, right? Small village. You could have the best coffee shop in the world. There's only so many people that you can sell coffee to. because there's only so many people in the village. Doesn't matter what type of marketing you have, doesn't matter what type of product that you have, it doesn't matter how much improvements you make to the recipe, the way it falls, to the atmosphere in the restaurant. The NFT group, people that are in NFTs, like if we're a small village, there's only so many people, and VeVe's doing the best that there is. They put all of the coffee shops out of business, all the NFT projects out of business. So what has to happen, the way that VeVe grows isn't by going in and perfecting, like you could always improve on perfection, right? You can always improve like the drop counts, you can always improve the mechanics. There's always different things that you can make, like keep your current customers interested and engaging. And if you make a good enough product, you know, they don't get a cup of coffee a day. They get 2 cups of coffee a day. They turn to Lorelei fucking Gilmore. They get 6 cups of coffee every day. And that's what VeVe's done. Look at the drop today. The surprise drop today of Dan and David. We had 1,502 of these David and Dan on like freaking Ponytas. It's not Pokemon, it's like fire horses. And does that mean that 1,502 people were here today? No. It means that a lot of that, yeah, there was several hundred people, but they bought a couple of times. Like, there's some people that were on here today. Like, I didn't buy one from the market. I bought one for $1 on the secondary because for some reason, people seem to not have they seem to love buying things for $15 and selling them for $1.48. I got one at like $1.45. Cool. I will do that all day. I'll do that for every drop if y'all want to do that. I think it was Phil D. Nice that had pulled, like he pulled the trigger like 35 times. Even if it was $450, even if it was 30. Yes, just did the math on the calculator. What is, oh my God. Booth, what are you doing over there on my other thing, guy? Yeah, VeVe has this beautiful machine. They have this beautiful coffee shop, and who's going to try to build a coffee shop now? Who's going to try to build an NFT platform? If you're any entrepreneur that's worth their salt, you take a look at the competition. Like, okay, what are my odds of success? Licensing in general is hard. You have to be a good salesman. You have to have a lot of capital. And it's like, okay, let's say you get the capital. Let's say you're like, you know what? This is clearly the future. It's superior to physical collecting in a lot of ways. And physical collecting will always be there, right? I was looking up Strange Tales 110 CGC comics yesterday. Like actual physical comics. And I'll probably get one. The idea that there's always going to be capital. There's always going to be physical comics, but people that want to go in and build what VeVe's a digital collectibles platform, and they look, it's like, okay, it's very hard, it's very difficult to do. And licensing is just, you have to secure the funding, you have to secure the licensing, you have to pay the people that are going to build your product, and how is it going to be different? And I'm not saying it has to be better than VeVe, it's just got to be different. And you've seen all of these other, like Gary V and Winklevoss twins, like putting money into Recur. And it's clear that no one was at the helm that cared about the product or the IP, or else it wouldn't have crashed and failed so spectacularly. It is very difficult. And even the ones that are still kind of surviving, you know, like they got their niche. They got their, like, even Cryptoys got bought up. Like they had some Recur and Cryptoys has some of the best licenses in the world. Recur straight up failed. Cryptoys had to get bought out. And Elmon X is around. They're surviving. They're doing their thing. But like DC put their IP everywhere. And what happened? What happened to Palm, DC NFT, Bat Cows, like Candy? It's gone. And because of like the what's like the class action lawsuits gone on with BatCals, and because of the promises of the roadmap that BatCals made, nobody wants to buy that fucking thing. Like and maybe David somehow like trying to secure that license in some ways. Like, oh, I'll give you the license. I don't know, right? Like, I'm not part of any of these conversations. I don't work for the company, but why else hasn't it been bought out yet? That's a great IP. It has not just DC. It has Candy, and it has a little bit of community there, BatCals. Why hasn't it been bought out? Because people trying to promise the world for something is just never going to work. So if I'm someone new here that wants to make an NFT platform, and most everywhere else is just dead. It's like Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows, where it might be the sixth one, or Deathly Hallows, where half of Diagon Alley shut down, but Weasley's Wizard Jokes, like whatever it was called, was thriving. That's what VeVe is. It's just when half everything else is shut down, they're thriving, and then it's like, okay, if I'm gonna like, how do you compete with that? You can't. There's no way that even if you had some rich asshole billionaire that's just like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. They said it couldn't be done. I'm gonna do it. And then they go and they put in, I don't know what, $500 million, which is an insane amount of it. But they secure the best tech guys. They know a lot. They hire people that know a lot about the IP they plan to get. They somehow hire like a team of salesmen to try to get these IP. And one, they're going to find that like, even if they can get a lot of the same IP that VeVe has, you're not getting first appearance on the blockchain. VeVe's got all of that shit locked down. And it's just like, you're not competing with VeVe in 2018, 19, or even like, you're competing with VeVe that's just been around for 7 years. They survived. This is their second bear market they've survived, and they're about to go public now. Like, brother, my brother in Christ, nobody is going to touch them. Why do you think I'm so heavy on OMI? Why do you think I've been buying a bunch of these collectibles? I don't see anywhere for VeVe to go but up, and competition that is a distant 500 million miles behind. If some person tries to do that right now, it's going to take them a couple years to even get to close to where VeVe is. Because again, you can't just buy people to come in on your app and spend stuff. Like, there has to be genuine interest. And right now, again, in this village that we're in, VeVe's already got all those customers. And you're going to come in and be like, oh yeah, well, yeah, they might be buying, but we can get some. Yeah, like BatCals had that. Like every other NFT company that has been like, they just got VeVe's. Like, after people had spent a lot of their money at VeVe, whatever money they had left over, they kind of spent elsewhere, and you can't survive on that. Now, when that narrative comes back, and all these people rushing into NFTs again, suddenly our little small village that we're supplying coffee to suddenly becomes a big city. And that's how we get all of the new users. It's not by improving the app, improving the store, improving whatever. It's by growing the city. It's by growing the hobby of NFTs. And that is, people need money. They need the Clarity Act to get passed, which right now people are saying maybe April. I would not count on the Clarity Act passing anytime soon. You have a 76% chance, according to Polymarket, that it gets passed sometime in 2026. But some people are saying April. Guys, we might have to wait until summer. We might have to, even when Jerome Powell gets out of there, it might not matter that much. Because yes, the Fed will then cut rates as they should have done for months now. But again, until that Clarity Act is passed, Bitcoin's not going back to all-time highs. A lot of this manipulation will keep going. You're going to have these wild swings, and I just don't see a path for altcoins to do really well until Bitcoin has its day again. So this could take several months. But again, I have no problem loading up now, even though prices could get lower. That's why. So again, there's a lot of talk here. So does this fair, Randy? This is plus FAT is going to go crazy next NFT cycle because JPEGs are out. The new NFT rarity classes will be a first appearance and name brand IP. Meow, 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 meow. Matthew Lambs, what's up, Lammy? They come up as impatient, childlike because they expected others to create wealth for them, and they grasp for get-rich-quick endeavors with the least amount of effort on their part. Illogical. Meow, meow, meow. Booth is trying to talk to me on my other YouTube video there tonight. Shit posting. Nancy May says she believes Jeffrey Epstein was a CIA asset. It's time to declassify everything. President Trump, based on the tremendous interest shown, I'll be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomena, and unidentified flying objects, and any and all information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters. God bless America. I'm proud to be an American. At least I know I'm free. Oh my God. Oh, I can't freaking wait. This would be dope. Japanese. Give me one sec. Reply. I had a PSA 10 that I sold years ago for 14K-ish. Should have held on to that. Pokemon Company just bought the U.S. distributor Excel. It will now handle the U.S. distribution operations at stores like Target. No more backdoors from third-party vendors, question mark. Pokemon Company International enters into agreement to acquire Excel brands. Leading U.S. distributor, category management service provider of trading cards and collectibles. The transaction is expected to close subject to regulatory approvals. Full service category management, resource investment driving sales for a retail event. Okay. Target, Walmart, Fred Meyer, CVS, Walgreens. Oh, Hot Topic. Claire's, Hobby Lobby, Target, Walmart. Okay, good for you, Hot Topic. Good for you, still around. Pretty cool. Okay, Booth saying they don't understand markets and economics. Meow. That's why they don't care. It's like showing. Oh, okay. The VeVe will thrive and survive. I'm not even sure crypto crashes on the alien news. We don't know. We'll have to see. Hi, Lambs. I'm just a retail employee. Glad I stuck around and learned how to change my thought process this bear run. Really, only those who are already successful stuck around. Hey. Oh. Yeah. People that want collectibles put into a portion of these. People that want collectibles is but a portion of those who game and will be on-ramped into Web3 metagaming. VeVe needs to make collectibles interoperable to gaming somehow. That's going to be hard. I think that's going to be hard. Okay. I mean, we have Epstein World War III news already. Alien seems like least people's worries. Sure will be fun reads. That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point. All right. Let's go to Definitive. So I've been over an hour and we haven't. Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff going on. Definitive's up 10% on the day to 1.1 cents. So $1.7 billion market cap. I did want to get more. I did get more the other day. I got like $50 worth. It was like nothing. I think we'll be good here. Ow, my back. Yeah, buddy of mine is gonna get a lot of money here soon. He's gonna probably pump it because he wants a bunch. Let's see what we got here. So that's Definity, 2,100 in volume, $1.7 million market cap. Let's do DEVVE, which I want to get more DEVVE too. Down about 6% to 6 cents. $5.3 million market cap. Jesus, that's low. 89,000 in volume. Let's see what FIAS has in store for us. FIAS is at a $2 million market cap, down 3% on the day. 25,000 in volume. And let's do some daCat. They are 1,400 in volume, up 1% on the day. $685,000 market cap, pretty low for them. Liquidity is $204,000. There is $100,000 worth of Ethereum in there and $101,000 worth of daCat. Just under 60 trillion in there. Yeah. Oh gosh, my booty. Let's see what we got here. I'm gonna do OMI one more time. I just want to see it before we. Yeah, 000133. I'll have to hope it goes lower so I can get more, because I spent a lot of OMI recently on, you know, the comics here. So we'll see what else we got. Let me check Strange Tales number 110 rare. We'll see if the rares have gone down. If not, they're at $11 hairs. Not gonna try with that. Okay, let's go to the news because it's been a while. Is Sunday? Did I do this? Okay, I did Sunday. Oh, what are we on? Today's Thursday. Jeez. White House says Trump calls for U.S. Senate to swiftly confirm Kevin Warsh as Fed chair. Winner of the Pikachu illustrator AJ Scaramucci, founder of Solari Capital and son of former White House communications director Anthony Scaramucci, paid $60 million for the Pikachu. A lot of controversy with that. ST McFly saying, I'm reading up on the winner of the $16 million illustrator card, and it's AJ Scaramucci. I asked ChatGPT to tell more about the background. One of the things I found is he is a current Pudgy Penguins holder. That's interesting, very interesting. Steak and Shake says its sales have risen dramatically since it started accepting Bitcoin payments. Really? Like, if you have Bitcoin, why use it to buy Steak and Shake? You know, like I'm glad they accept it. I'm not getting my Bitcoin. Elon Musk says he has less than 850 million in cash. Oh, he's in the poorhouse, which is 0.1% of his net worth. 1%, 220. Okay. I have less than 1% of my net worth in cash too. So he's not the only one. Well, his is 0.1%. That's not that bad. Happy joy. Yes, Ren and Stimpy coming on. I can't wait for that. Oh, also VeVe. Yes, they made $20,000 with their latest drop here today, but they also had New Avengers number 26, shocking return of Hawkeye and the Scarlet Witch, guest starring Doctor Strange. Sold 220 editions, so that made $1,500, which is not a lot. But yeah, the big thing is this. And again, they didn't make like a ton of money here, but the fact that nobody knew that it was going on and still made 22,000, that's pretty cool. Like that's pretty dope that they could do that. And again, they don't have to share anything with anyone. Like that's all them. That's all gravy. Good for you guys. Good for you. Fed will inject $16 billion into liquidity in the economy this week. They might have already done that. The Dora brothers made a $200 million AI movie in just one day. It is 100% AI, and I'm not going to lie, it looked pretty good. Harvard just moved from Bitcoin to ETH. Prestigious U.S. university sold about 21% of its Bitcoin ETF and used some of the cash to buy $87 million in Ethereum ETF. Carter Gold says, hey, Chavi Cat. Been having to catch the videos after the lives. Olympics been interfering with my regular viewing schedule. Also, he's my favorite comic book artist, pronounced Rob Liefeld, not Liefeld. Okay, Liefeld. Liefeld. Liefeld? Liefeld. Copy. Rob Liefeld. I will try to remember Rob Liefeld. My thumb has been acting very strange lately. It's like phantom. It like just moves on its own. I don't know what that is. Or Leaffield is a common mispronunciation name. Just wanted to look out. Oh, thank you. Liefeld will be. Try to say that from now on. But yeah, Harvard going in and buying more Ethereum ETFs. Interesting. Florida bans convicted animal abusers from owning pets. Good. Ban them all. Meta patents AI that continues posting and messaging from deceased users' accounts by replicating past online behavior. That is a little scary, I'm not going to lie. little scary. February 16th, we burned 1.1 million OMI. Sailor's MicroStrategy bought $168 million worth of Bitcoin. Tom Lee's BitMine bought $90.8 million worth of Ethereum. He now holds $8.6 billion worth of Ethereum. Jane Street bought 7.1 million iBit shares worth $276 million in Q4 2025. It now holds over 20 million iBit shares worth $790 million. It was the same equity rumored to be behind the daily 10 a.m. manipulation to put Bitcoin prices lower. CFTC chair says crypto market structure bill is on the cusp of becoming law. Yeah, like 3 months from now. Fuckers. Netherlands State Secretary has, for Finance, Natalie van Berkel, has resigned. She was set to oversee the controversial 36% tax on unrealized gains. The reason behind her resignation is having falsified educational credentials on her CV and LinkedIn profile. Yeah, she's dumb. Eric Trump's American Bitcoin now holds 6,000 Bitcoin, worth over $400 million. Good for you. Good for you. $3,000 bounty alert for the Ren Stimpy number 1991. When does that even come on? When does it even come out? I don't know. Let's check. Let's go to the coming soon. What's today's date? The 19th. So the 21st, we have Assassin's Creed. I don't know if anyone here is really a fan of that. Oh, 22nd, Ren and Stimpy. Okay, hold on. Oh, it's Sunday. Ren and Stimpy, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Assassin's Creed on Saturday. I might not be here on Saturday. We'll have to see. Some Toby Studio thing on the 23rd. And that's it. Cool. What else we got here? Sean Devi. CFTC chair says they will future-proof crypto regulations. We can't allow Gary Gensler 2.0 to come in and tear it all up. Agreed. UAE Sovereign Wealth Fund, Mubadala, increases spot Bitcoin ETF holdings by 45% to $630 million. So I went over the other day. I don't know how many people saw, but Draco bought the 1978 Boba Fett for 69 million OMI. That is insane, $9,400. AJ Scaramucci said, let's get this into the Nintendo Museum in Kyoto and cement it as the Mona Lisa of the Pokemon franchise. Absolutely could do that. We absolutely could. Ben Korea, hey Randy, what's up, Ben? Thanks for being a member. The odds of the Republican Party winning the U.S. Senate in midterm elections fall to a new low of 60%. Democrats are now also expected to control the House of Reps at an 83% chance per Polymarket. Yeah, I see that. Mike Collectibles said Darth Vader versus Michael Jordan, one-on-one, who wins? I don't know why he would post that in California Comics, so you got Vader versus Jordan. I know it's AI stuff, but is that a tease? We're going to get Michael Jordan? That'd be dope. Phantom says introducing the Phantom MCP server. Agents can swap, sign, and manage addresses across all Phantom supported chains. Ready to work with Claude, OpenClaw, or any MCP compatible client. We are. daCat has a AI agent. It's very good. And we're going to have some news for daCat in like, I think March. Yeah, we'll probably have some news for daCat in March. I'm excited to see what that could be. We'll see. Adam Weitzman says he's building.
These might think you're completely insane for this. Anyone can build a product and launch it, but not everyone can build trust.
9 in the morning, 4 in the morning, Sunday night. I'm more passive, Gabe's relentless.
Like I'm trying to fight with those billionaires and millionaires and trying to compete with them.
The next thing we do is going to be really big.
I made a tweet and I say, I'm doing a class action against you guys.
We have to make it good. It doesn't matter how much money I invest. It has to be a great product.
It's like, this guy is really telling me this right now. I was like, that changed everything on my head.
And just one ETH difference between yours and Memeland's bid. Like crazy how important this one ETH turned out to be.
They create a monster. They couldn't handle this monster, and we're taking responsibility of this monster.
I gotta see. He's coming on the podcast soon, Adam Weitzman. Said he's building. This looks interesting. Can't wait to talk about it with you soon. Yeah, those look interesting. Okay, anyway, so again, daCat's going to have an announcement in March. New York City bar opens for people with AI partners, dining tables optimized to dine with your AI companion. That's insane. Literally, BlackRock sold $119 million worth of Bitcoin over on the 17th. I tried to bid for a Pikachu Illustrator back in 2001. I did not get it. I was outbid, but I was in the game back in the day. Billionaire Peter Thiel fully exits Ethereum treasury from ETHZilla and sells his entire stake. Damn. Maybe ETH goes down a little bit. A whale has opened a $54 million Bitcoin long with 40x leverage, and his liquidation price is $63,580. Probably going to get wrecked. Tomley's Bitmine bought another $39.8 million worth of Ethereum on the 18th. Yep. Abu Dhabi funds held over $1 billion of BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF at the end of last year. Stripe-owned stablecoin platform Bridge wins conditional OCC approval for national bank charter. U.S.-listed Bitcoin miners' share of global Bitcoin hash rate stays near all-time high despite AI pivots and winter storms. Dude, this is such a cool NFT, and the owners, creators, actors from this movie are going to come on hopefully next week. Arizona's Strategic Bitcoin and Crypto Reserve Fund bill passes the Senate Finance Committee. Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon says he owns a small amount of Bitcoin but is watching it closely. Cool. Eric Trump says Bitcoin will reach $1 million. I've never been more bullish on Bitcoin in my life. Cool. I now own more comics than collectibles because I've been buying a lot. How much more? Well, I'll show you as soon as VeVe decides to load, which it is not. VeVe. Go to back to collection. Go to comics. Go to sets. Okay, it's just not loading, but it's by a little bit, not by that much. Okay, Rick RTP. I have to go and read something from Rick RTP. RIC_RTP. And it has to do with AI companies breaking things. But of course, my internet is not working, so you know what? We'll wait. Bo says Emperor's Fist seems like a good deal too. 1.1 million OMI. Ooh, $140. Todd is like 2.3 that, 2.6 mil, 365. Yeah, it's a good point. That is a good price. I should get it. I went through and picked up Liefeld's under retail pieces, most being VeVe Comics, 1K mint run. Which one is that? Let me know. Give me one sec here. We got my guy buying more Definity here. What's he gonna pump this to? Well, it's still 1-1. So okay, it's still 1-1 because he only put in an extra couple $100, so it's not going to be too much of an impact, which I'm fine with. You keep that. AI companies just broke the global supply chain for every piece of technology you own, and the fallout is way worse than anyone predicted. Sony is delaying the next PlayStation to 2028 or 2029. Nintendo is hiking the Switch 2 price mid-cycle. Apple warned investors that iPhone margins are getting crushed. And Cisco just posted its worst share loss in 4 years. Oppo is cutting phone shipments by 20%. Lenovo, Dell, HP, Acer, and Asus are all raising laptop prices 15 to 20%. Samsung is now reviewing memory contracts quarterly instead of annually because prices change too fast to plan. Elon Musk just told investors Tesla has to build its own chip factory from scratch because no supplier on the planet can keep up. His exact words, we've got two choices, hit the chip wall or make a fab, end quote. All of this happened in the last 3 weeks. Same cause every single time. And data centers are buying every memory chip on Earth. And there's nothing left for everyone else. Here's how we got here. 3 years ago, ChatGPT launched and the AI arms race began. Since then, Samsung, SK, Hynix, and Micron, the only 3 companies that make memory chips, quietly made a decision that's now reshaping the entire global economy. They stopped prioritizing consumer memory. Every factory, every production line, every wafer, all redirected toward one customer, AI data centers. Why? Money. AI memory chips sell for 3 to 5 times the margin of regular RAM, and when Google calls offering to buy your entire output at premium pricing, you don't say no. So the 3 companies that control 90% of the world's memory supply chose their highest paying customers and left everyone else fighting over the scraps. The numbers from this week are insane. OpenAI's Stargate project alone will consume 40% of the entire world's DRAM output. HBM demand is surging 70% year over year in 2026. HBM now takes 23% of total DRAM wafer production, up from 19% last year. Meanwhile, there's a 4% gap between global DRAM supply and demand, and that doesn't even account for the depleted inventories across multiple industries. DRAM prices have surged over 170% since early 2025. DDR5 contract prices are still jumping double digits month over month. And the memory makers, they're printing money. Micron's revenue is expected to more than double this fiscal year. SK Hynix sales doubled again in 2024 and are on pace to double again. Is that Moore's Law? Wright's Law? Samsung just reported the quarterly profit nearly tripling. 3 companies, $650 billion in AI spending chasing their products, and they get to name their price. But the collateral damage is everywhere. Every industry that uses memory, which is every industry, is getting squeezed. Smartphone manufacturers are getting destroyed. For a mid-range phone, memory now represents up to 30% of the total build cost, triple what it was in 2025. Chinese phone makers like Xiaomi, Oppo, and Transition are cutting shipment forecasts and raising prices because they literally cannot afford memory to build their phones. Lenovo CFO called the cost surge unprecedented and admitted they stockpiled 50% more inventory than normal just to survive the next few months. The PC market could shrink by up to 9% this year, according to IDC, not because people don't want computers, but because they can't afford the memory that goes inside them. In the gaming industry, Sony's seriously considering pushing the next PlayStation 28 or 2029. Their carefully planned console cycle is getting blown up because they can't secure memory at prices that make a new console viable. Nintendo is looking at raising the Switch 2 price in the middle of a launch cycle, something console makers almost never do. NVIDIA is cutting RTX GPU production because they can't get enough GDDR7 or any of the memory. Even the car industry is getting hit. Analysts are warning about a repeat of the pandemic-era chip shortage that shut down auto factories worldwide, all because AI companies decided their chatbots needed the memory more than your car does. And this doesn't get better for years. Building a new memory fab takes 3 to 5 years minimum. Micron's new factory in Idaho won't meaningfully increase supply until 2027 at the earliest. By then, AI demand will have grown even more. Memory makers are already selling their 2027-2028 capacity to AI customers today. There's no supply relief coming. That's why Elon is planning to build Tesla's own Terafab, a massive semiconductor plant that makes logic chips, memory, and packaging all under one roof. Said existing suppliers, including TSMC, Samsung, and Micron, simply cannot supply Tesla at the levels the company needs. Think about it. One of the richest men in the world, running one of the largest companies on Earth, can't buy enough memory chips. So he's building his own factory. If Elon can't get supply, what chances everyone else have? The AI revolution has a tax, and everyone else is paying it. Every big dollar tech company spends on AI infrastructure drives up the cost of memory inside your phone, laptop, car, TV, and your gaming console. $650 billion in AI spending this year alone. 3 companies controlling 90% of memory supply. And every wafer they allocate to an NVIDIA GPU is a wafer denied to the device in your pocket. The AI boom isn't free. You're subsidizing it every time you buy a piece of technology. And the bill just went up like crazy. That is a fantastic write-up. And better go for Dan David Year of the Horse. I bought one on the market for $1.40. People are crazy. They spend $15 on something, sell it for $1. That's nuts. That's so crazy. Article Ghost Slayer said 2 series of Deadpool, Better Blood, and Deadpool team up. Ah, very nice. Oh yeah, the Deadpool team up I actually read in real life. I actually had that years ago. aliens. Oh God. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus. We are never, ever, ever getting back together. We are never, ever, ever getting back together. You go talk to your friends, talk to my friends, talk to me. Sorry, I wasn't picking up risque cards. But oh my, I can't show the, what the heck? I can't show the risk. What the heck, VeVe? Okay, sorry. Yeah, got 1,400 comics there. A little bit more comics and collectibles. Anyway, as far as the comics go, yeah, I can't show what it is, but the Scary Christmas #1, I can't even, like, it legit, like, you see boobies, like on the secret rare cover. It's insane. Unless the one came in, or digital cover art, I think that would be the viewable. And yeah, that's dope. It's dope AF. Go VeVe. Okay. What else we got here? Don't believe me, just watch. The AI agent for daCat is holding 4 trillion daCat. That is more than I have. Jesus. OpenAI launches benchmarking system to help secure crypto tokens and smart contracts. Very good. David Yu saying, excited to announce our partnership with an indie horror film NFT project, bringing the terror from the big screen straight to your VeVe collection. This collaboration unlocks a new way to experience horror. Get ready to showcase the thrill, the fear, and the fandom like never before. The horror doesn't end when the credits roll. It lives in your VeVe vault. Ooh. What else we got here? Okay, that's fine. That's also fine. How many more of these do I have here? Shout out to long-term holder for selling me his entire Strange Tales supply for like average of $2.20-something. Trump says the U.S. will have its first trade surplus in decades because tariffs cut deficit by 78%. Very good. Very good. There was a Discord AMA that they barely advertised, and it, like, I don't know what the goal was here, to tell people like 12 hours beforehand and to have it on Discord at 9:30 in the morning Eastern time. Like, I don't know how many people showed up to that. Anyway, shout out to Pump Bob saying, thinking of diving back into VeVe Official. Self-custody makes it even better. Appreciate the update, comics and crypto. That is what everyone needs to do. Go back to everyone and be like, hey, remember VeVe Official? They're about to be interoperable. That will help. Pump Bob has 10,000 followers on X. Maybe BlackRock sold another $85 million of the Bitcoin on the 18th. That is yesterday. ChatGPT predicts that the Jets are going to win the Super Bowl. Let's go. Fed has injected another $18 billion into the U.S. banks via overnight repos, the 4th largest liquidity pump since the Rona, even bigger than the dot-com peak. JP Morgan are now accepting Bitcoin as collateral for loans. Very good. Tomorrow I have, give me one sec here. Where is she? Jen, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Okay. I have Jen, the queen of crypto, 11,000 followers over on X, coming on the podcast tomorrow. I'll be holding you tight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Cannot wait. All right, guys, that'll be it for me today. Everyone, please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. I have others. Day is not done. I have a couple more meetings. All right. I love y'all. I'll catch you later. Bye, guys. Bye-bye, Dashi. We love you. We are never